can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, get us any.
You're listening to Two Guys and a Wrestling Podcast on Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's happening? We are live, we hope.
Yeah, we are live with WTF Wednesdays.
Right.
Hopefully, we were supposed to have a guest on, but we're having weather issues at the moment, so we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, to be honest, it took me, it took about a minute to connect the live.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We've got some incoming weather that is not being cooperative. I almost lost electricity here about 10 minutes ago. The internet's acting weird.
My lights were blinking, so if we go out, we apologize.
Right. And that also leads me to wonder how easily Stro is able to connect to the link that we sent, because it's just being an ass today.
Yeah, I mean, we would take the day where we get a storm to go live.
Well, Miss Jackson, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather.
Right. So I guess we're just gonna talk about what's been going
on
in
wrestling.
What's been going on in wrestling? I mean, there's been a lot of news, a lot of news,
and a lot of huge rumors that if they actually do pan out, I guess the best way to start is there is definitely something afoot in the WWE. I have read reports, which not exactly from the most reliable of sources, I will say the least, but I have read reports that 2 weeks ago there was reported that Vince had a major blow up at There's No Sound. We have no sound from Nelson Mania.
I can hear you just fine.
And I can hear you. Huh. So, hold on. I don't know how to check this. Because everything says it's going out. Well, we don't know. All right. We might dance monkey. I'm going to go check something out.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of news has been going on in the wrestling world from all different fronts. Anyways, a lot of news in the AWE that Kevin Owens' contract is coming up. What? I just got the notification.
Yeah, and apparently I'm listening, Nelson. You need to do something on your end. I just put it on Facebook and watched it. There's sound. I still haven't got the notification.
I just got the notification that we're live right now, and I just got it from two guys and from Northeast. So I guess we're back on track here.
It would seem that way.
So
And like I said, there is sound on the Facebook page.
and
And we've got
also
Sean queuing in with an answer.
well, I mean, like I said, Kevin Owens is going to be leaving possibly in January, and so is Sammy. Both of their contracts
fall.
are coming up in January.
No, actually, Sammy's is supposed to be the fall of this year.
Oh, is it fall? I thought it
So
was.
he's
I
going to
thought
be
it
a
was
little bit
January.
early. He's going to be a little bit early. KO is January of 2020. Cool. Thanks for letting me know, Sean. Nelson originally said there was no sound.
Yeah.
But
He probably just turned it down because I was talking and he don't like me very much after what happened Sunday, and I really don't give a flying crap.
the main, like I even like Alistair Black actually posted on Twitter after the people talking about that. He said he doesn't see them leaving WWE.
Honestly, with Kevin Owens posting what he posted on Twitter and then deleting it, and it was the coordinates to Mount Rushmore, kind of basically a shot back to, his time in PWG where he was a
Right.
team with the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, and they were called Mount Rushmore. So it would be cool to see that happen. It would be cool to see El Generico come back from the dead. That would be something new. I mean, a wrestler coming back from the dead, never been done before. So yeah.
I never. Sami Zayn is the most confusing person I've ever seen. And yeah, I agree. Kevin is probably trolling.
We all said the same thing about CM Punk.
That is true. And I think only Kevin Owens would be able to match CM Punk's level of trollness.
Yeah, but we all said the same thing about CM Punk, and then CM Punk shows up in AEW.
Right.
I
mean, it's going to be interesting to see either way. And like the video you showed yesterday, the one of Mick Foley saying WWE, we have a problem. That is what AEW has become. It's become the place where other people can go.
Yeah.
The people that might not fit in right with WWE.
Basically, people now you can say that AEW's competition. WWE is not going to say that, but now you can say that they're not direct competition, but they're competition nonetheless.
They've got to get the level of fans. They got to get the fan support. Rampage is dropping every week.
Well, that's because, again, they're killing their wrestlers. This is going back to what happened with Thunder. Thunder was hot in the first couple of weeks, and then it started dropping off. Basically, AEW's basically taking a page out of WCW's playbook here.
They're taking a lot of pages out of the WCW playbook. I just hope they don't take the final page. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and like we talked about yesterday, people want this war to come back. Okay, why would you want that? In the first war, one company survived, two companies died. In the second war, one company went back to its original time slot within a week.
Right. That one company got its literally its ass handed to them on a silver platter. And so that's why I really don't see a war. Nothing's good is gonna come out of that.
And I had to put this internet troll or whatever in his place. It's like, because he was talking about how Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan and CM Punk made their legacy in WWE. Oh, not really, dude.
No.
And it's a business, okay? They were released from their contract. What do you want them to do? Sit home and become poor and possibly lose everything that they worked their ass off for and sacrifice for?
Right. And I mean, literally, when you say that when this guy put out that they had built their legacies in WWE. Now, granted, Daniel Bryan did go to a higher level of notoriety and stardom than ever
They
before in
all
WWE.
they all
But
three did.
but the fact of it is, all three of those people, in particular, walked in knowing exactly who they were. Most of the fans knew.
Really?
Yeah, and all I got to say to you, Nelson, is those who forget history are destined to repeat it.
Exactly.
Ring of Honor
Now,
tried, Ring of Honor failed. TNA tried,
but
TNA failed.
again,
WCW
okay,
tried, they failed.
again, going back to what you said, you just mentioned Ring of Honor and Impact. Yes, I wouldn't say Ring of Honor tried. Ring of
No,
Honor didn't
actually,
go head
really,
to
they
head.
didn't. They didn't even go head to sort of a head.
Exactly. Ring of Honor is on Saturdays at 2:00 in the morning now. But like, here's the thing: there's always been alternatives to WWE. What irritates me is that the fans are so lazy and don't put their time and energy into the companies like a Ring of Honor or an Impact for them to flourish and possibly grow and maybe become competitive.
And that's exactly what I was talking about with Rampage, right? The first episode got 800 and some thousand views. The
Well,
second
it was
episode,
going
of
to
course,
because
hit
CM
over a
Punk.
million. No, that was the second episode. The second episode went over 1 million. It was like 1.3. The third episode got 700,000. This episode got 600 and some.
Yeah.
And that's just it right there. They're sitting there, oh, AEW is great, but you won't bother to take an hour out of your freaking day to watch it.
Yeah. Like in the
there's still a couple of million people that will tune in every Monday night to watch Raw.
Excuse me, I'm kind of struggling with a sore throat. Give me a minute.
Well, dude, you're supposed to use that before you go to 7th Street, not after.
No, it was from
I know.
All Out. But no. My thing on it is they want this war, and all it's going to do is lead to one company going out of business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Terry. I always do that to him. And yeah, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing about a war. One side has to lose. Luckily,
Exactly.
like the last time the WWE was attacked, which was by TNA, Spike was like, okay, we can try this. And then as soon as it didn't work, Spike said, get your ass back to Thursdays.
Basically.
They had been bringing in, like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were bringing in 1.6 million viewers on average per week.
Yeah.
When they went to Monday night head to head with WWE, they brought in like 450,000.
Yeah. And they try to go head to head, and they try to go head to head with the Raw where Bret Hart returned.
Right. And they got slaughtered. It wasn't even close to a competition. And so that's, like I said, that is where you're looking at this. You keep wanting this war, but you got to realize sometimes your team doesn't win. I remember 2001. My team didn't win.
My team didn't win in 2001. My team was ECW, and look at what happened to ECW.
Right. I was a WCW fan, and my team didn't win. And I remember watching the last Nitro and them saying, we don't know what's coming. We don't know when we'll see you again. So, as much as everyone claims to love.
And for the longest time, no one saw anyone from WCW ever again.
No. And everyone who's claimed to be such in love with AEW, remember, there's always going to be a casualty. And your team might not win. And that's just the thing. Holy smokes, Nelson! You wrote a freaking paragraph and a half. You putting War and Peace up here in the in the chat. AEW has the potential that other companies haven't had going against WWE. WCW tried it; they did okay, but it was some 20 years ago. And you're right, times have changed, and I believe AEW is doing the right thing. Well, they definitely have gotten to the point of doing less of the bad shit, more of the good shit, but they're not quite at that point. And yes, I think they can give them a run. But like I said, you look at it, the proof is in the pudding. You look at the stuff that happened with Rampage. You look at the stuff that happened with Dynamite. You know, when they promote big things happening, they get big numbers. But on a week-to-week basis, those fans leave.
Exactly.
They're finding other things to do. So, you know.
Those casual fans leave.
You know, really, it shouldn't be, Sean. You know, you're right.
Me and Sean are similar on that. I'm not pro AEW. I'm not pro WWE. I'm not pro Impact. I'm not pro New Japan. I'm not pro anything. I'm a wrestling fan. If it entertains me, I'm gonna watch it.
Right. And you know, actually, for the first time in a long time, I'll be willing to admit, after All Out, I'm much more interested in what's going to happen. I will say this: I'm much more interested in what's going to happen tonight on Dynamite than anything that Raw's putting out this week, or anything WWE's putting out this week.
Yeah, because dude, after that All Out pay-per-view and the 2 debuts that happened, technically 3 debuts that happened, people are going to be clamoring for AEW, wondering what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, and it's a good clamoring. But now, we're going to go back a little bit and kind of play. You know, like you were talking about, this is a business, and there's been a lot of rumors swarming around this business for quite some time. One of the big rumors is the possibility of WWE being for sale. Now that was shot down, and I do know a few things about business. I've over observing things and stuff like that, and I've said there's one sign to watch out for. If there's something getting ready to change in either the structure of the WWE or possibly being sold, because if you remember, before it can be sold, it has to be brought private again.
Yeah.
That's a watch for people close to the company or the McMahons themselves to start dumping stock. Well, last week, executive producer, WWE lifer extraordinaire Kevin Dunn dumped over $1 million in stock in one day.
Yeah. And he's had a job with the company since 1993.
No, it was 92 or 93. He's been there for almost 30 years.
He saved, basically, how Kevin Dunn kept his job this long, he saved the TV tapes from his burning car trunk.
You know.
No, that's legitimately how he's kept his job this long.
Right.
Him and his Bucky Beaver teeth.
Yeah.
He needs to get those things fixed.
It's just as simple as how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if Kevin Dunn could chuck wood?
Dude, he needs to get those fixed. He makes about $500,000 a year. He needs to get those damn things fixed.
He makes good money, and it's exactly one way. That's why he's selling off stock. That's going to take a lot of work. But honestly, like I said, he's a lifer, and he doesn't need money. He is taken well care of.
Dude, he's lived in Connecticut half his life. He's good. He's got a house next to Vince, and they're butt buddies.
Hey, just gonna go right on out there, huh? Okay. So for him to start dumping stock, that says, okay, there's something internal. Then, as Nelson Mania put out, I was saying earlier before I had to do that test that there is a rumor going around that Vince had that major blow up on SmackDown 2 weeks ago because he did not know what he had booked. he
Yeah.
could not remember last week's or a 3 week ago SmackDown. That it's coming from Vince Russo and Disco Inferno, and they're about as trustworthy as
That's a good point. But from what you've told me, Vince has no. Vince has no show 2 shows, right? According to
Yes.
what you've read.
Well, from what I've read,
Um,
and these, on the other hand, are reliable sources. This is not any of that. These are reliable sources, and they are saying that Vince McMahon has not been at the past SmackDown or Raw taping. They have been ran by Bruce Pritchard. Vince never. Vince does not show up. That's not Vince McMahon. I mean, the man had tore both of his quads in the ring, walked the whole way back to his car, went to the hospital, had surgery, and was at the next event.
Yeah, that was a funny Royal Rumble. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, that's Vince McMahon. Vince is
Actually,
the
and
powerhouse.
people say that Vince has never missed a WrestleMania. Technically, he did miss WrestleMania 30 because Undertaker passed out.
Yeah, he went to the hospital with the Undertaker. He left WrestleMania 30 before the main event.
Yeah,
and that's never happened before or since.
no. So I mean, it goes back to if AEW wants to become competitive, they need to go up on Monday night against Raw and see how it plays out.
No. I think they're still wobbly. They're still wobbly. They don't need to go head to head yet because I think that's the quickest way to kill it.
And honestly, if Vince is looking to sell the company, like me and you were talking off air, I think yesterday, it might go to Disney.
Yeah. Hello, Secretary Depta.
It might it might end up going to Disney.
Well, they seem to be feeding Fox more than they're feeding NBC. Fox is owned by Disney. You've got they're stacking SmackDown, and they're just kind of going, oh well, Raw's okay.
Yeah.
And even USA themselves has reached out and said, why are you adding so much talent to SmackDown when your Raw ratings are falling? You need to be here.
Honestly, Raw is not on a mainstream network like SmackDown is. SmackDown's on Fox. They need that talent. Raw really doesn't.
Yeah, but still, the Raw ratings would go up if Brock Lesnar came back.
I get where you're coming from. I understand it wholeheartedly. But at the same time, I think they're doing that because of where SmackDown's on Fox and Raw is on USA.
Yeah. And yes, we are currently running as two guys, a dog, in a wrestling podcast. We should get the dog to replace Mike. Bet you the ratings go up. Yeah, we should.
I bet you
the ratings go up.
Hey, I bet you they don't. I bet you they don't. You want to know why they don't? Because I'm the star of the show, and you know that. Anyways.
I guarantee you, put a vote in the chat. Which one do you think would be a higher rating, Mike or the dog?
Number one, everyone's gonna side with
agreed.
Everyone doesn't look. Your opinions don't matter. You wanna know why they don't matter? Because they're not right. So shut up. No one cares.
Like I said, dog better.
You're entitled to your opinion no matter how wrong it is. If it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have got 1.3K on Sunday. Thank you very much.
And how do you figure that?
I guarantee you people stayed because of that rant that I had with that troll. Nelson, you just don't like me. Shut up.
We keep telling you, Tabitha. Just all I got to do is send you a link, and you can be out if you want to come on. Just come on Sunday if you want. I'll send you the link. Actually, I've had you as a friend. I haven't had you as a friend yet. I don't really add people as friends, but then we'll send you a link.
Anyway, yeah, I'll send her a link. I don't care. Well, y'all's opinions are entirely wrong. So deal with it. Because you didn't tell me you wanted to be on.
Yeah, like I said, we'll do it Sunday. I think, yeah. Oh, whoa, Sunday's gonna be weird because we do have I do have Comic Con. You're not going to Comic Con.
Yeah, I'm not going to Con.
But there will be. I will be live in downtown Lexington. I will be trying to bring you guys some stuff throughout the day at Comic Con. I'm going to go down there and try to meet some of the wrestlers that are down there. Some of them don't really. I'm just like, oh, that would be cool. But other ones, I'm like, okay, I'm going after that. But
yeah, Sean's not able to go either because of a radiator problem.
Yeah, he's having some car trouble, which I hope you get that fixed, man. That sucks.
Hey, what's up? It's our friend from Retro Wrestling Revival.
Oh, which actually that brings up another good one. Don't we have some news about that?
Oh, we are actually going to do a supercast with Retro Wrestling Revival this technically Friday at 1:00 in the morning. I know that's a weird time.
I thought it was Thursday.
Technically, it's Friday.
Y'all got it. No, you Nelson, y'all got to knock that crap off. It is not the next day until you have gone to sleep and woke up. I don't care if you go to sleep at 6:00 in the morning and you wake up at noon or whatever. It ain't the next day until you wake up. So
okay,
none of this Friday bull crap.
Thursday at 1:00 in the morning, we are going to be on with them doing I'm not sure what we're doing. I'm not sure if it's going to be a watch along or whatever. We told them,
well, that's normally,
we said, y'all pick and we'll do it.
Right. Normally it is what they do, which I did actually. I'm the guy that was in the chat with the first MLW event. I was one of the people in that chat. Yeah, MLW Underground. It's a good show.
I was in the episode with the second NWA TNA pay-per-view.
Yeah,
in the chat.
I work nights. That's one of the reasons it's happening so late is because I work nights. So you've either got before 4 p.m. or after 12:30, which we do it at 1, so I can go out and smoke first.
Gotta get your cancer stick in, brother.
Yeah, you know how I am about that.
Anyways,
I'm sitting here right now wondering why I ain't gone out to smoke yet.
And also, wow. And also, little show update. We are possibly going to be doing 2 pre-recorded shows and 2 live shows coming up pretty soon.
All right, man. All right, John, take it easy.
Yeah, we're going to do 2 pre-recorded shows and 2 live shows. The pre-recorded shows are going to be every other week. It'll be Monday Night Retro, and it would be our audio cast on Thursdays. Our 2 live shows will obviously be this show and Sunday.
And for those to get filled in on the Monday Night Retro, what we're basically going to be doing is actually head-to-head watching. Mike's going to be watching the. Actually, we should trade. We should change that.
You want to watch?
I didn't watch WWE. You did. So I should watch Raw because I watched.
Actually, I went back and forth. I was watching Raw and Nitro.
See, I didn't. I went exclusively Nitro. I was WCW all the way. I did not watch WWE.
If you want to,
I didn't watch. Go on.
If you want to, we'll reverse it and you can watch Raw.
Well, see, I was thinking about that because I didn't even watch my first episode of SmackDown until like 2005.
So you want to reverse it and you watch Raw?
Yeah, we'll reverse it. I'll watch Raw, you watch Nitro, and we're going to be actually doing it head to head at the same time. We're going to start at the same time and just go through the overall quality of the show and I guess we're including pay-per-views of the Monday Night War, going from the start of it in May 27th, 1996.
May 27th, 1996. It was Scott Hall's debut in WCW.
All the way to the end in, what was it, June? I want to say June 1st, 2001.
March 26th.
March 26th. I was way off. But hey, my brain remembered something, so yeah, that's, I was just thinking about that, because you're going to take a WCW
So I have a
fan
question.
and have them.
If we're gonna go all the way to March 26th, how are we going to do the simulcast?
What do you mean?
Because they did a simulcast on March 26th.
Right. One half was on Raw, one half was on Nitro.
Yeah, but how are we going to do that is the question. Am I doing
You watch
WCW
Nitro, I watch. No, you watch Nitro, I watch
could-
Raw. Just the same thing.
Because Nitro wasn't that long actually on March 26th.
Well, then when it ended, no, it was a full show.
No, it went off at like 10, bro. They had like maybe 3 matches.
So it was 2 hours. So it's going to still be the same amount of time as SmackDown, or Raw rather, that's going to be the fun thing. Raw, Nitro's 3 hours. Raw never went to 3 hours during the Attitude Era.
No, Raw was
Raw
strictly 2 hours. And
2
honestly,
hours.
if you want to, we can go even further and include Thunder and SmackDown.
I just want to remind you of one thing. If we're doing it that way, we're going to be doing this for like 5 years. Because we're going to be watching one weekly episode a week in chronological order.
Okay, fine. After we do the Nitro and Raw, after we do this Nitro and Raw series, we do Thunder and SmackDown.
That might be work, but it's still going to take us 5 years to do this. To finish it.
We have time.
It's like, we ain't got nothing better to do.
But I mean, it's a really cool concept, though. Comparing the 2 shows together side by side.
Yeah, and that's what we're going with. I'm not going to promise that it will stay in that format, but I may be thinking of a way to speed it up. And you're right, I was Nitro all the way too. Same with Nelson.
For me, it was okay. Story time with Mike Maverick. I know I ripped it off from Adam Cole. Shut up. Anyway,
I'm just wondering. I'm starting to get a Zeb Coulter, Dutch Mantel look here.
The Zeb Coulter thing going. Anyways,
yeah, I'm like, okay, it's time to shave. Holy crap.
Anyway, time for story time with Mike Maverick. Yeah, I stole that from Adam Cole. Shut up. Anyway, in the Attitude Era, I had a brother who watched WWE, strictly WWE, and I had a brother who watched strictly WCW, and I was in the middle. So I was going back and forth during commercial breaks, catching up on what was going on both shows. And then I discovered ECW.
And they tried to show boobies on there, so that was it. You were like,
No, it wasn't even that. It's just it was different. It felt different than than WWE and WCW. It felt smaller, more like an indie show.
And so, hold on. We were just getting ready to wrap up here, and if you give a second, I'm going to be bringing Papa Stro on.
Oh, what?
Add to stream. And there he is.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome to the show.
Hey, sorry I was having technical difficulties earlier, but I'm here.
We were too. We had a massive thunderstorm move in.
Yeah. I hope you guys are okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
So thanks for stopping by and everything. This is Papa Stro. Most will probably remember him as WCW's Maestro. I remember him as Smoky Mountain's Eddie Eagle. That's where I was a huge fan of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And that is where I remember you from. Like I said, that was one of the.
I didn't watch Smoky Mountain. I knew you in WCW.
Yeah, he doesn't have the wrestling taste. He doesn't have good wrestling taste.
Really?
So how is everything down? You're in North Carolina now, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's actually my old stomping ground. I'm from Wilmington.
Oh, right on. I'm not far from Wilmington, actually. I'm just outside of Wilmington.
Oh yeah.
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 You're
so how is
Jacksonville.
everything? Okay. Yeah. 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 Jacksonville and Wilmington. That's a little stretch through there. I ain't. Yeah. I've been up through there a lot. So well, let's kind of. I don't know, Mike. Do you want to start it out? You were the one to set everything up.
I mean, I'm gonna let y'all talk.
Well, okay, like I said, I know you're doing. We have kind of a mutual friend who did meet a while back. Dr. John.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dr. John Stamey. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually we set up a. I helped
Nelson. He was never in the WWE.
No, it was WCW was where he was maestro. But that's Nelson, and he's wrong 99% of the time. So
you'll learn Nelson's that kind of guy.
So like I said, it was what I remember you had after your time at WCW was over. You definitely have not like lost a beat, stayed busy throughout. So kind of bring up the kind of, if you don't mind, bringing everybody up to speed and what you're doing now, and how they can see you and everything like that.
Oh gosh, it's been crazy. I've traveled the world. I've wrestled in WCW. Even before then, like I wrestled different parts of the world. Was NWA for quite off and on through the years. Had a great run competing for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship with Adam Pearce a while back. Former 4-time NWA Mountain State Heavyweight Champion in the West Virginia area. It's been a crazy career. USWA, I was known as Gorgeous George III early in my career after my grand uncle, the original Gorgeous George, and honoring him, right? Which I got to, later on in life, people he influenced, like Muhammad Ali and James Brown, and which we did a pay-per-view together with James Brown in WCW, Super Brawl. Lawrence Cat Miller. But now, gosh, I've been really, still wrestling. So I haven't, it's not like Ric Flair. I haven't retired yet or quit yet. The words of Terry Funk, forever. Right. Doing some commentary now for Shockwave Wrestling. Here in the Carolinas. Also, I've doing some acting for television and film. I got an upcoming film premiere October 30th in Lenore, North Carolina, called The Devil's Daughter, which is a Harlequin origin story. A lot of Batman characters in the film, which I'll be starring as Dr. Arkham. That upcoming film, and it's to help good gracious hands for a good cause, to help people that are dealing with domestic violence. So looking forward to that. I'm also starring in a series, supernatural series called The Dusk, which I star as the Chief, who's the Grim Reaper. The series, it's got like that Dark Shadows vibe to it, a lot, vampires, werewolves, all that supernatural phenomena, which you can check out on YouTube, all 3 seasons. I'll be on set actually for the 4th season later on this year of the Dusk series. I've done very different horror films. There's various films. One horror film that's coming out later on this year too is called Stench of Iniquity, which I'll be starring as an ancient vampire named Abba. The film's got like that creep show vibe to it, right?
Oh yeah.
Doing the acting. Member of the Chamber of Commerce here in town. I'm an ambassador. Just doing a lot of stuff in the community, helping people and businesses, and I've trained some people over the years that are doing really well right now and helped out, give advice to. Even Sasha Banks gave me a nice little plug a while back to my school, right? Which is really cool. But helped out people like Lou Gallows, with Anderson and Gallows. I guess there's still the Impact. I don't know if they're still the Impact Tag Team Champions. I don't know they've been the Impact Tag Team Champions.
They are.
Of course, they're the Elite now under the Bullet Club, which Barbarian and I helped out Luke Gallows a while back. Great guy, man. Awesome dude. Tracy Taylor, who's doing really good on the independent wrestling scene. Eric Shea out of the Maryland area. I'm just throwing a few names out. Dax Hardwood, who helped out, trained him with FTR along with Cash Wheeler. Remember Scott, who helped Cash on everything. We get together, we watch one of the FTR's matches. We're like two dads, we're just so proud of how they're doing it. They're pretty awesome. And just various people through the years that have helped. I'm really happy for them and their success and doing well. Petey Williams, Robert Roode, Bobby Roode, etc. I mean, the list goes on, but I'm just happy for their success and vicariously live through their accomplishments. And I want to see people do well in the business. There's some people, they're like, well, if I take that spot, you might take away, some of my shine or whatever. But I'm not one of those people. There's plenty of room for success in the business, and I think it's all the men and women that have helped give advice to, train, etc. I wish them all the best, and I wish anybody success that's hungry for the business. I mean, and it's great to see the business kind of resurge a little bit and have that little bit of fire that we used to back in the day, and the people before us had. So, with the NWA starting to come back again, with AEW, WWE still holding strong, Ring of Honor, New Japan, and the list just goes on. So, I just hope to see more promotions flourish and do well, because competition is good for the business, it's good for everybody, all the way around.
Absolutely. And that's something we keep talking about on here, that, competition is needed. Absolutely.
Right. And I think my wrestling brother, the legendary Ric Flair, made that speech in the recent NWA event where he was talking about that everybody should flourish in the business, and it's good for everybody. So, yeah. And I talk about that in my podcast too every week. I do like WCW Retro every Thursday night at 9 on vocnation.com. Talking about the old days and how the territories back in the day and how well they flourished, because everybody had brought something different to the table, right? And even with Monday Night Wars, when that was happening, the original Monday Night Wars, it was great for everybody, because it gave people variety of what to watch, and variety is good for everybody. So we talk about that, and in the room also on vocnation.com every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we talk about that too. And it's good to get everybody's perspective on it, because not like doing different areas, not everybody's gonna like the same stuff from different areas. Like people up north is not gonna like what people do in the south or out in the west or in Japan or Mexico, etc. Everybody has a different style, which is good, and it's great that the guys and gals in the business travel and get the international experience. It helped me very much. So entering WCW, haven't gone overseas and traveled and learned that style, those different styles. Because when you go to a big company like that, and all these various styles, and it's almost like a reunion, more or less. You see brothers and sisters from different parts of the world we all come back together for the bigger company. So it's really cool, and it's great to better your game more or less.
Yeah.
Right. Now, speaking of the current, I mean, if someone was to see you now I'm thinking from the WCW Maestro, where did the character Papa Stro, how did that? I mean, I know you actually put a documentary out a few years ago, kind of about this and the way your character was done. But give them a little idea behind it, because I mean, to think, like I said, from going where the WCW Maestro into this Papa Stro character, that it was a drastic change.
Yeah. Well, first off, about the documentary, it kind of blew me away when my friends from the film industry wanted to actually do a documentary on me. I was quite flattered, right? Because I mean, it's one thing to portray a different role or character in a film, but to portray yourself, that's a whole new bag of tricks, right? But yeah, I was very honored that they did that for me. And as far as Papa Stro persona goes, towards the end of my WCW run, I had kind of like a split personality deal going on, where the bad music would drive me insane, more or less, and showed more of that darker side of the Maestro, right? And which I took that side of me and my love for horror sci-fi movies from back in the day, right? And just, enhanced the fire, if you will, and just brought Papa Stro to life, where Papa Stro represented that whole era that I loved back in the day, the horror sci-fi era, as well as it was a story about, it was a film I watched a while back where it almost had that Crow vibe to it, where the souls of lost children were searching for an avenger to seek vengeance on the evil of the world, right? So they found this avenger named Papa, and it was like the Papa that they always wished they had, right? And to protect them from all the evil and the world, almost like it has a bit of a Crow vibe to it, but a much darker twist. And with that, along with my love for horror and sci-fi and everything, and even in the wrestling industry, watching Kevin Sullivan and Army of Darkness and Uncle Terry Funk and his ways, and it just brought those vibes, brought those vibes to life for me. So I put it all together, and with Dorothy, who I have with me, who represents the souls of lost children, who gives Papa Stro the power to do what he has to do, more or less. And, so yeah, but yeah, that's how all that bit came together, right? So not only am I doing the Papa Stro bit for the wrestling, I'm also kind of doing the deal for I have a horror sci-fi show I do every Friday night on Facebook. I started that project when the world shut down about a year or so ago, called the Stro Zone, and where I feature different horror sci-fi flicks from back in the day, to a new audience that may have not seen it before, right? And to appease their love for the horror sci-fi genre. So it's really cool to bring all that back to life to the new audience. Some of the things that you enjoyed growing up as a kid, and so yeah, it's nice crossover, from the wrestling to the the acting, entertainment type of thing. So, and especially coming up, Halloween's coming up too. So which I aptly named Papa Ween throughout the month of October. So I haven't got merch on sale, Papa Ween merch, etc. So I do once a year thing, right? So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I always joke. I do it's the most wonderful time of the year. Every time Halloween comes up, that's my favorite.
Yeah, right.
Mine too. I love Halloween.
It's amazing. Yeah, I don't know what Dorothy's gonna dress up this year. Last year she was a werewolf, so I don't know. We're trying to figure out something really cool for Dorothy to Come with you. I know she loves the Halloween candy, man. I mean, I can't keep any candy around the house. You know, steals all the candy, and the cats love her. And I mean, if she's not rocking a rocking chair in the porch, she's out climbing trees, playing with the owls and the night creatures, that type of thing. So yeah, she's got a mind of her own. I can tell you some stories about Dorothy, man. She's a lot of fun, right? I'll tell you this one, right? We're on the way to an event, right? One time, and there's a guy next lane to me. He's driving next to me, right? And he looks over my way, and he just freaks out. He pulls over like he's like seen a ghost or something. I'm like, well, what's this guy's deal, right? So later on, I pulled over and I looked in the back seat to see what he was looking at, and there's Dorothy pressed against the window with her hand like this, like she was waving at the guy. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that'd do it. I mean,
yeah, Flair did it to me. Flair did it to me a while back. I was coming back on 95 a while back out of Charlotte, heading home, and there's this guy kept swerving me off the lane at night. And I'm like, I was getting a little heated. Like, who is this guy, right? So I looked over to the other side of the road, and I didn't recognize the driver, but I looked in the back seat, and there's Rick. There's Nate laughing at me, waving at me, saying hello. Oh, Rick's too much. Rick's great, man.
Yeah.
I love Rick.
Yeah, I know there's got to be some crazy stories with Rick, because that guy, it just seems like he was the very the definition of the crazy, you know, on the living the gimmick or whatever, however they.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You know, when I first met him and Blackjack Mulligan years ago, I was at a convenience store, right? And they just come in to buy a few drinks to go to the next town, and they're kind of like worse Ferrari, right? They just had the match, and they were kind of beat, and I helped them carry their drinks to their car, their vehicle that night, and years later, when I was actually in the business and I bumped into them, right? They actually remembered that night I helped them with the drinks, and they bought me a drink later on that night after the show.
Man, that's cool. Yeah, it's like that's really cool, because you meet these guys that are kind of larger in life, and you're a fan of them, and then to meet them again, and they know exactly who you are, where they saw you, they remembered everything about that. That was that's kind of awesome. So, this thing. I don't know. My lights are flickering a little bit. That's why I got like, oh crap, am I getting ready? I'm hoping everything don't die on me in the middle of everything. So I'm just kind of sitting there with my fingers crossed. Yeah, like I said, this storm moved in. It was a big one, and my building's got pretty good wiring. So when they flickered, I was like, ah, crap. But yeah, so you were talking about you're doing commentary now. You're still touring around North Carolina. What? Can you tell me a little bit about the company you're with now? And you're still wrestling with them as well, too, right?
Yeah. I'm still wrestling. I wrestle various companies, wherever I can go. Basically, I'm not under contract to anybody, so I can pretty much go wherever I want, which is always a great freedom to have on the indies, right? But
right.
But yeah, I started commentary now and everything, and I do a bunch of stuff. It's nuts. So, but so far, with Shockwave Wrestling, I started commentary with them. Our next event is September 18th, and it's at the Craven County JC Fairgrounds in Newburgh, North Carolina. And shockwavewrestling.com, so we can find out more information on that. But I recently wrestled with Extreme World Wrestling in the Charlotte area as well. I was a champion with them for quite some time, and just various places. Of course, I'm trying to get back to my the West Virginia area as well, doing some more stuff. I really had a good run with them back when I was with the NWA, and made a lot of friends that way. So I'm trying to get back in that area. So it's always great seeing the fans up there. Yeah, because all around that area, that dates like really back to the Smoky Mountain Wrestling territory, right? where they were all over the place. They're in Kentucky and so forth, and which I really owe a lot to Jim Cornette, Sandy Scott, Tim Horner, and Rock and Roll Express, the late Tracy Smothers, God rest his soul, and Dr. Tom Pritchard, and all the greats that were there at Smoky Mountain Wrestling that have really helped, paved the way for me, really helped me out, reached out, and we had a lot of good times there, Smoky Mountain Wrestling as well, and it helped me propel me to the USWA actually, with team with Wildfire Tommy Rich, which I'll be seeing Tommy Rich again November 20th and 21st at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, at the mall there for the Grand Strand Comic Con. So I'm looking forward to reunite with Tommy, man. A lot of great memories.
Oh,
yeah. Him and I and Doug Gilbert were kind of like the Freebirds there for type clique there for Memphis, right? And we had a great feud with PG-13, man. It was really awesome, and we even got the main event to Mid-South Coliseum. The infamous Andy Kaufman feud with Jerry Lawler was, made headlines all over the world, man. So I mean, it's just certain places and arenas you go to around the world, you just get those chill bumps from all the vibes from all the history.
Right.
That feud actually with Andy Kaufman is actually what made me want to learn more about Memphis wrestling.
Right. He was a genius. He was an absolute genius. Kaufman was, and him and Lawler, man. I mean, together, you had two great minds coming together, and they just made magic together.
Yeah. Actually, me and another friend were just talking about that feud last night, and it was like it just everything about it, and the dedication Kaufman had to protecting everything.
Yeah.
You can't get some people that are, active in the business now to protect anything. And here you had this guy that was from Hollywood that was wearing a neck brace for 6 months, just off the pile driver.
It's such a lost art. The art of
Right.
kayfabe is such a lost art, you know what I mean? And I remember when I started the business, how heavy and important kayfabe was. I mean, it was just, and the stories you would hear, like we would have separate locker rooms, and, we would send messages to the locker room because, we couldn't all mingle at the time. And even like in different countries, like, for example, Mexico, they had the Rudos and Technicos. The heels and baby faces industry, separate deals too. I mean, kayfabe was so strong. And now with the information age, with the social media and everything, it's tough, man. To keep things a secret.
I mean, kayfabe's still somewhat around if you look at Chris Jericho's post on his social media.
Yeah.
Jericho's still, and of course the Undertaker.
Yeah.
That guy, But those are really the last ones. And like you said, it's the internet age changed everything.
Right.
And I mean, that's basically it. Now you've got people standing outside of the arena taking pictures, and everybody's got a dirt sheet. They can report this, they can report that. That's really when the nail went into the coffin of the way it used to be.
Oh yeah, it really puts a whole new perspective on things. So, but the people in the business that can pull that off these days, I mean, God bless them, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, especially when you had these surprises, like we've seen recently on the debuts of certain wrestling talent to different companies that's been kept a secret. I mean, nowadays it's it's gold.
It's almost impossible to keep a secret now. Like Adam Cole on AEW, that got me, because everything was saying, oh, Daniel Bryan's coming, Daniel Bryan. Cole walks out. That was a complete shot in the dark.
Right.
It actually even shocked Adam Cole, according to his interview after.
Oh yeah.
And that was it. And that's the kind of stuff I miss from wrestling. Of course, back when I'm a territories guy.
Oh yeah. I miss him.
I'm a territories guy. And like Memphis wrestling, I remember the stuff from it. Lanny Poffo and all, like Bill Dundee, Jerry Lawler. Then I really got into Smoky Mountain. You didn't have that. Like I said, you didn't have the people that were following around, taking pictures and trying to sneak backstage and stuff like that. You didn't have that dirt sheet every other post telling you, oh, well, this is happening. No, this person's talking to that person. And oh, there's this person going with that contractor. You didn't have that stuff. You watched the TV, you went to the live show. That's what you had.
Right.
When they were if you lived in Memphis, you went to the Coliseum. If you didn't, you wait till it hit Lexington or Louisville or whatever, wherever you could get to. And that was the same with Smoky Mountain. They came around here and you just went to where you could. You had some TV and that was it. And we liked that.
I used to go some places, right? And when I was from Smoky Mountain wrestling, and I mean, it was like out in the sticks, out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm thinking, how, who's going to come see us, right? And I swear, it was like people came in droves. Just at those events, right? And I'm like, where are these people coming from? It was just amazing to see all these people fill the houses, and it was pretty wild.
Yeah, and we have a lot of it changing with the pandemic. And how has the pandemic really kind of affected you? I mean, for a year we were completely shut down.
Well, that's what kind of like inspired me, with the podcast and with, the sci-fi horror show I did. I've started online. I'm still doing it now. The Stro Zone. I just doing things I can to stay interactive with the world through social media, etc. And just keep your name out there, keep it fresh, and just kind of branch out different avenues. Of course, done some with the acting for television and film, and with radio, podcasts, and social media, which has really been a big help through those trying times. So just doing all you can, and along with getting out walking the dogs, which kept me in shape. Actually, I have a home gym. But I've kept up my workouts and everything until my gym opened back up. So, just doing all you can that way, and just keep in touch with the world, and doing what you can to entertain your audience, and using what using what the good Lord gave you, more or less.
Right.
But hopefully things will keep getting better, so we can do even more, be more active, and doing things again. So.
Absolutely. We're all hoping for it coming back. Right. And, we're all hoping for it coming back, getting back to normal.
Right. Right. I can tell you a bunch of, oh my goodness, I can tell you a bunch of cool road stories through the years. I know one story. I remember Roddy Piper used to tell me these cool road stories, right? And I can't do him justice because he's great, telling stories. There's one in particular, it's one of my favorites, that back in the day in the Sandy Bar territory, the bar territory up in Oregon, that Pacific Northwest area. They were going to debut this cat named Matman to their live TV, which we dressed up like Batman, but of course they had to call him Matman because of that trademark and deal. But he still had the Batman outfit, right? And he was going to make his debut on live TV. And keep in mind, live TV back then, there's no 5-second delay or editing. So if you screw up, So the show starts, right, and the commentator is interviewing the heel wrestler, the villain wrestler, and here comes Batman cape and all, right, runs out the ringside, goes to jump on top of the table like he's superhero, but he slips and falls, busts his rear end on the floor, and the audience is like howling, laughing, and the announcer and the villain wrestler looked at each other like this, and then like
Yeah,
look down on the guy, says, who are you? Puts the microphone down to like Batman's all messed up like this. It says, I'm Batman. Tell all your friends. Then later on that night was the debut match of Batman, right? So he comes out with his like Batman suit and everything. And they go at it, boomity boom. He slams the guy, climbs to the top rope, extends his hands like he's gonna give him the big splash off the top. But what he didn't realize, the studio where they're taping, right? Kind of like that Channel 5 Memphis vibe studio, you know. There were loose wires from the top of the ceiling, and when one of his hands actually touched the wires, sparks flew. It blacks out the whole joint. People freaking out, you know, screaming. And like 20 seconds later, the lights come on. Here's Batman. He was all messed up. He falls face first to the canvas like a dead tree being chopped down. And boom, right?
Oh man.
Missed the guy like a mile in the ring, right? The referee, he doesn't know what the official, he doesn't know what the heck to do, right? So he takes Batman and puts him on top of his opponent. Counts 1, 2, 3. And that was the beginning and the shocking end of Batman, right? I'm still trying to find footage of this, I swear, but it's like one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. And there's one story.
I'm gonna
Speaking
go
of
look
Terry
for
Funk,
footage now of that.
yeah, it's nuts, man. There's one funny story with the Terry Funk and the chicken, right? We're getting ready to do this big event, right? And early in the day, we're doing promos leading into the event there, WCW. I'm waiting to do mine talking about Ernest Miller, the Cat Miller, which I was feuding with at the time, and Terry, I think, had a match with Ric Flair later on that night. He was going to do his promo before me, right? And he had a trash bag in his hand, and everybody kept asking Uncle Terry, he's like, Terry, what's in the bag? And Terry kept telling everybody the same thing. I'm saving it for the interview, right? So they start the promo, right? He reaches in his bag and pulls out this dead chicken. I don't know.
Was that before Sold Out? Was that before Sold Out 2000?
And I don't know how he got the darn thing on the plane, right? Or he just found it. I don't know. Supposedly he said it was from his ranch in Texas. and he's got the chicken. He says, you see this chicken? I shall now compare its anatomy to that of one Ric Flair. See these skinny legs? These are the legs of Ric Flair. See this beak? This is the schnoz of Ric Flair. And I'm going to take Ric Flair by the neck. And he grabbed the chicken as he's saying this, right? And I'm going to whip him like the dog that he is. These feathers flying everywhere, right? I think Dustin was somewhere laughing. I spit up my water bottle. The whole place was just howling, right? Cameraman's freaking out. Later on that night, I get back to the hotel, which they put us up at a real nice place, right? And the bellboy usually takes the bags to the hotel right there. Was running around the parking lot with the same trash bag that Terry had in his hand. So I went up to the kid. I said, "Kid, you all right? What's going on?" And he says, "Some old man gave me this dead chicken, and I don't know what to do with it." It was Terry.
Man.
You gotta love Terry Funk. I mean,
Great, man.
there's never
Good
going to
times.
be another one like him.
No.
Didn't Terry put his hand in the chicken and like punch someone with it?
I do remember that promo. I can't remember all of it. It's been too long now, and well, no, I've got like two brain cells that just float around up here and occasionally come together, and I remember something. So,
one of my favorite
sure it's
promos
on
from
Pete.
him. One of my favorite promos from Uncle Terry was he's doing an interview, right? And he says, I was sitting on the front porch one day, and the sheriff came up to me in my yard, and he said, Terry Funk, you're under arrest. And I said, my God, what for? He said, for beating up a woman in Nashville, Tennessee. And I kicked back in my chair and I laughed. And I said, Sheriff, that was no woman. That was Ric Flair.
I hadn't heard that one before.
And he did a Dr. Pepper parody one time, which I was dying. You know the old Dr. Pepper song he used to sing? And he goes, I'm a funker, he's a funker, she's a funker. Wouldn't you like to be a funker too?
Oh yeah.
Man.
I love Terry Funk.
Oh, that's great, man.
Terry's awesome. Terry's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's one of a kind, man. You know, between him and Dusty, man, Dusty's really helped me out a lot through the years too. And matter of fact, Dusty was always like I would say Dusty and Kevin Sullivan. They were always like big supporters for me, you know, which I've worked with both off and on through WCW, Smoky Mountain, and everything. And I used to. It's ironic because I used to go see him at in Florida Championship Wrestling years ago, the matches. And so because it's funny to see the heroes you grew up watching actually be your biggest supporters. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. And getting to work with
he introduced me to Andre the Giant, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Andre is pulling up in the parking lot one night at a show, right? And I'm scared to death. And he looked like he did when he was the Bionic Sasquatch in the $6 Million Man with Lee Majors, had the bushy hair, you know. And he's walking towards me. And the first time in my life, I thought somebody's going to eat me, right? I was terrified, and Dusty came over. At the time, I thought Dusty saved my life, right? So when he comes up to me and breaks the ice to myself and Andre, I said, "Hey kid, the world bad thing. Andre is cool. Say hello, Andre, Daddy." And and Andre puts his big hand as how do you do, right? And I'm looking up, my hand disappears, right? So I'm looking up and fine, sir. How are you? You know, but a great guy. But at the time, I was just petrified, man, as a kid, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely understand that because, I mean, Andre was, a lot of people don't realize that haven't met, like, a lot of the guys, you know, met wrestlers in person or have, you know, you see them on TV, everybody looks like they're kind of normal size.
Yeah.
But then when you get to them face to face, you realize how big these people actually, talking about larger than life. Then when you find someone like Andre that makes the other really big guys look not so big, I mean, this guy was ginormous.
It's kind of,
and it's the same with like.
I would imagine it would.
Oh,
I would
huge.
imagine it'd be kind of unnerving.
Right.
Yeah. To this day, still the biggest human being I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
And I've seen a lot of big people, but that guy, he took the cake.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You know, this guy's got to be, you know, like I said, the larger than life. That's the only way you could possibly describe it.
Unreal.
You know, I've met some athletes, that, you know, some basketball players and stuff standing, you know, 7 feet tall, and it's like, I'm not that well. I have shrunk a little bit, but I used to be about 6'2", and you know, I'm standing there, and they're towering over me. And I know Andre at one time was 7'3", because he never stopped growing.
No. Had that giant syndrome, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was acromegalia or something.
No.
And it was so rough at one time. I remember listening to Billy Crystal talk about the documentary when they were filming The Princess Bride, where there's a scene where he catches the princess, right? And he was hurt so bad he needed help in the scene when he had to catch her.
Oh yeah, they used wires to like lower her and support instead of. That's actually a great documentary HBO did on Andre.
Yeah, tremendous.
Absolutely.
And I was a big fan of the film. You know what I mean? And it was one of those films you can never get tired of watching too. I mean, it was such a great film.
Right.
I still haven't seen that Andre documentary. Is it good?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely incredible. It is absolutely incredible. They really knocked it out with that one.
Yeah, they did.
Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer here.
No, that's quite all right. I'm sorry it's late. The technical difficulties, man.
Yeah, it's like I said,
you're fine.
We didn't actually get anything going until about 10 minutes after 12 or so. Because as soon as I got it, I've had that kind of luck for the past 2 days. As soon as I got everything started up, everything flickers, and all of a sudden, all I got are 2 black boxes with little spinny dots on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like, oh boy.
But if you ever want to come back, just let us know. We'll be more than happy to have you on.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, this has been great.
Get a little plug
I can
in
tell you a bunch of cool stories, man. I mean,
get a little. So where can they hear? I know you do your movie stuff on Facebook Live. Just give it where they can find your stuff online.
Okay, here we go. Thestro.com is my official website for Papa Stro merchandise, including current Papa Ween merchandise on sale, guys. It's thestro.com/merchandise, which is THESTRO.com/merchandise. And also on Facebook at Stro the Maestro, Twitter @Stro, Instagram @Stro Maestro, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already at youtube.com/Stro Maestro. Also on Twitch at twitch.tv/Real Papa Stro. And like I said, Dust Series, you can check out Dust Series where I started the Chief on YouTube at their YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dusk Series, DUSK Series. And like I said, I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. ShockwaveWrestling.com, their next event, September 18th. Also, I'm going to be at the Power Comic-Con in Florence, South Carolina. The following week, September 25th. Yeah, 25th. But more information, go to powercomiccon.com for more info for that. So yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. But I'll keep everybody informed on my social media with all the latest. But yeah, I'd love to come back, talk to you guys more. This
Anytime.
Really cool.
Anytime, absolutely.
Doors open.
Right.
Yeah, and thank you guys that are listening in, who have been fans for many years. I love you guys from around the world. Much appreciated. And just keep supporting pro wrestling and all the great men and women who are a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hats off to, and again, thank you for coming on. We do really appreciate it. Door is wide open. Shoot us a message. We'll actually probably get in touch with you again soon because we want to hear some more of the stories.
All right.
Right.
All
Fantastic.
Right. So thanks again for coming on. And well, to everyone still watching and everyone listening when this goes out on the audio only side of it, this is Joe signing off for Papa Stro and Mike. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and we will see you all on Sunday.
Yep.
All right. Thanks again, guys.